please consider remembering Dr. James Dudley, who recently passed away. Dr. Dudley was an emergency room physician at Tappahannock and has served in multiple roles as the medical director of the emergency department, operational medical directors, and a medical examiner. And there's no question he's well known, and he's touched the lives of a lot of people in this community. So we would, moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. Now I ask Mr. Watson to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First order of business is the minutes. Are there questions or comments about the minutes? If not, we'll need a motion to approve.
So move.
Second motion. Need a second?
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. I'll ask if there's any additional questions or comments considering the motion. Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Financial reports. Question, comments, concerns, positive comments. We'll need a motion to approve.
A motion to approve.
Good motion. Need a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Reports and comment period. Town manager.
First, there is a budget worksheet schedule in your packet, and it's just to give you a heads up as to what months we're going to be dealing with the budget and at what stages. So that's just meant for your information. In March, I'll try to have payroll numbers done. That our budget, we almost have to approve payroll numbers before we can work the rest of the budget around that, because it takes place in a number of the accounts. So this is just for your information only, just to have that so you know what we'll be addressing and when and why. The meals tax, we've been talking about it for a while. We're actually in the information gathering stage, so we will, we've received a few ordinances from other communities and other counties, so we'll be kind of assembling that information and moving forward on that project. There is a EPA mandate for all of the water systems in the nation who need to provide an inventory of the properties within your communities, our communities, about whether there might be lead in any of the systems. As you know, we've been working on this for a while. We did an inventory last year, provided a good bit of feedback to the state as to what we knew and what we actually don't know. So anyone who has an unknown status has to receive a letter, and some of you may have received it, a letter just indicating that it's an unknown status, that we don't know what you have. We know what's on our side, we don't know what's on your home side. So we're going to have to start drilling down on that somewhat. The federal mandate requires that we know what you have in your house. So there will come a time, and this mandate it's a long period of time. It goes through 2037. But we will have to start drilling down on some of those numbers. And the state has provided those counties or those communities like ours that are small with a firm who will help us prepare some of that data. So we've been working with them over the last 6 months and continue to work with them. So there will come a time, probably in the future, sometime yet this year, that may require Brian to go out and dig around the box, see if he can figure out the pipe that's on the customer side and what it looks like going out, maybe some indication as to what it is that runs to the home. The consulting company said that in some cases they've got communities that, with permission from the homeowners, they'll go in and they'll look at the piping on the inside of the house, see if they can help determine what it is there. So we will continue to be working on that, and I'll try to keep you updated as we move forward on that. But I just want you to know that there'll come a time where if you'll see Brian out digging in the holes, he's trying to figure out what we have and so we can comply. Until that happens, and beyond that, we will have to continue to send out that letter of the unknown status until the property owners let us know we've replaced our pipes, we know we no longer have lead, and then we can take them off the list. We did have a dozen or more when we sent the last letters out who let us know that they did not need to receive the letter any longer. So but we will be required to send that letter out moving forward. So just wanted to give you a heads up about that. And then it just attended a number of meetings. Trupani, that I indicated that in my list of meetings and things, that's the name of the company, the consulting firm that we're using to help us with the lead inventory. And the loan committee met to talk about a loan for a business locally. They approved it. The business is determining whether they are going to choose to take advantage of that or not. So if you saw that on my notes, that's what that's about. So that's all I have, sir.
I have,
Any questions or comments for Fran?
yeah, I have a quick question. So let's say a homeowner does have a lead connecting, pipe system to the water system. Then what does that mean for the homeowner? Do you know?
Well, they haven't let us know that yet. I would imagine there's going to have to be some kind of proof that it's been replaced at some point in the future. And how that happens, whether there's assistance, governmental assistance to help make that happen, that's yet to be seen, but we haven't been given that information yet. But I do think the ultimate goal is to ensure that there's no lead in anyone's system. Hopefully they'll provide us at some point with some sort of testing mechanism and a way to test your pipes to see if anything's coming out. But we've not been instructed on that yet.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments for Fran? Anything council members would like to share, question or comments? We hearing anything from citizens about the snow services, et cetera? There's been a couple water line leaks that have been repaired. I think that Ricky and his team and Brian have done a really good job with that, trying to work around the conditions. And obviously frigid weather, so.
We have had 3 breaks in the last week. Carver Street, which is one of our worst, had a break last weekend or during the week. This past weekend, we had a break in front of 7-Eleven that they finally were able to repair today. And tomorrow they're working on a leak that's near the well house and the football field. So this weather is not our friend.
Just to clarify, the new water system that we're on, was that 2 spots, Carver Street, be on the new water system. 7-Eleven's on the old water system.
No, both of them are on the old system.
It is on the old.
Neither one of those have been replaced yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought they rights down to like around the brewery? Cove
No.
or-
We had just been in the process of getting the easements for that to be able to be happen, so,
Glad I asked.
It's a really good question.
Yeah.
And, you know, that, we know that there's some confusion lingering out there. So the engineer is helping us with a map that's going to show phase one, which has already been done, phase two that we're getting ready to do, and then it's going to show what's left. But Carter Street is critical. And that's on the list. Forest and then Beach Grove. And actually, I guess we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to the action item, just to kind of hit the lead a little bit more. But we're definitely going to come up with that mapping to make it easier for everybody to know exactly what those are. If there's any questions from the community. So, any other questions for Frank? Any other?
So you said we're gonna talk about the water a little bit more later?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I just want to add a couple of things. In the outline for the budget, last year was one of our better years of being on time and getting it done. This outline gets us a month ahead of time, so we're not kind of cramming for time. And Fran has Brian and Christie working on any potential expenses that they're aware of that need to be done so that we can plan that in the budget. We feel like that we can manage this well. Fran has a blueprint that she follows now. We won't need to come out to a work session another night of the week. We're going to do it on the April 20th meeting. We'll have a work session, closed session to talk about the budget items to make it simplified and move forward. And then hopefully it'll be right in line with everything. I want to talk about the Board of Supervisors meetings. Years ago, we were replaced working with the Board of Supervisors meeting because we went to the meetings a lot, and they placed both towns, Montross is a county seat in Columbia Beach, just to give updates. And we've tried to make sure that we're doing that efficiently and we're not being too redundant, but we do run out of things to share with them. So we're doing every other month. Fran is the lead in that, and I think it'll work out better than every month. Just kind of talk about the same thing or stand up there and just smile nicely. So with everything that's going on in the town that affects the county seat, you know, the county should be aware of that. So we'll continue to do that. So, all right. Thanks for everybody for any information they shared, and we do appreciate it. Neighborhood Watch, Mr. Watson.
I don't have anything to report, this time around. So hopefully we'll have something next time.
Okay, thank you. Action items. The first action item is approval of funds transfer from the general fund checking to the water system. So we have a formula that we're maintaining in the operational account, 4 months of operating expenses. And with that, we have a balance of close to the $150 that we would like to transfer to the water system. Fran, do you have anything you want to add to that?
no, our checking account balance has been built up and we haven't moved any money out of it, so that's what this initial request is for, is to move 150 out of that into the water CD, one of the water CDs that we have.
So the CDs, what Fran and Catherine are working on is making sure that the CDs are giving us the best return on the dollar. So that's going really well. We're paying attention to that. And anytime that we move funds like that, it takes the town council to be aware of it and obviously to authorize the act of that, so that we're really transparent on the end of the financial pieces. And just as a reminder, when we do the financial pieces, we always do our roll call vote. So are there any questions that Fran could answer for us? Or we're comfortable with making a motion to make that transfer from the general fund to the water system?
I have a question, not necessarily about moving the money. I was just curious. So when we do have water breaks, like the ones we've had, where is that coming out of repairs and maintenance, or where does that money come from?
It comes out of, well, the water fund, the regular water fund, balance
It's out of the checking account.
out of the checking account.
Any other questions? We'll need a motion to act.
I make a motion that we move $150,000 out of the general fund, I believe, out of the general fund to go into the water fund.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. I'll ask if there's any additional comments or questions about the motion. Hearing none, all in favor, we'll do a roll call vote. Mrs. Whitman,
Aye.
Mrs. Messenger,
Aye.
Mr. Watson,
Aye.
Mr. Lee, Mr. Smith, Mr. Garrett.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next amount is approval of fund transfer from the water fund checking to the water system CD. So, Fran, we're doing that to ensure that we're putting funds in the best area to receive interest, and that's the purpose of that. So funds transfer from water fund checking to water system CD. Fran, you have anything to add to that?
No, and just to answer David's question, we do have a repair and maintenance budget for the water line for $10,000 right now. Hopefully, we didn't spend that all this week, so.
Hopefully we don't have to do any repairs after.
Well, I will say, we've not had any kind of break or anything happen on the new line, so that's very encouraging.
We'll need a motion in a second.
Question, just note, on this one, we're just moving, because we have money in there, we're moving 100,000 to the CD just to get a better rate
Correct.
on it.
Correct.
It's not planned for anything really.
No.
Okay.
No, we don't know how soon we'll need that money, so it just gives us an opportunity to make more with those funds.
Make more with those funds, yes. Okay. Well, I make a motion that we move 100,000 from the water fund to the water system CD.
I second the motion.
I have a motion and a second. I'll ask if there's any further discussion on the motion. Hearing none. Roll call vote. Mrs. Whitman,
Aye.
Mrs. Messenger,
Aye.
Mr. Watson,
Aye.
Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Garrett.
Aye.
Thank you all. Motion carries. Water line project expansion.
Okay.
We need engineer approval to have the engineer firm to move forward with preparing bid package. You want to kind of go over where we are? kind of with the
Yeah.
worksheet? The included worksheet is phase 2 water line extension. Thank you for putting that phase 2 on there for clarification.
Yeah, it helps me too. So that the Phase 2 extension that I have in your packets, it lists what we anticipate the project to cost us. And the project is from, that's Carver Street, Forest Drive, and Olive Kings Highway from about near where Montross Brewery is, the old Montross Brewery, out to the edge of town. That's Phase 2. And right now, the anticipated expenditures for that project are $1,015,740. So what I did was I put that, kind of that schedule of possible funding opportunities for us. We still have $468,000 in an ARPA grant that was given to us for the water line that we've been drawing down a little bit for engineering costs and so forth, but we have that to put towards our project. So the other 5 accounts that are up there above are all the options we have for water projects. We have 3 CDs. We have the Water Improvement Fund checking, and we have a Water Fund checking. So all of those funds pretty much total $1.3 million is what we have in our own funds that are water related. So the difference between the project and what we have in a grant leaves us short $546,000. So we've got $1.3 million just to be able to pay for that $546,000. My recommendation is to use 2 of the CDs that we have. One being a water CD that's in the general fund. I'm not real sure why we ever had a water fund in the general fund. That would give us an opportunity to close that one, and then use a portion of one of the others that would make up the difference for that $546,000.
At the same time, we're not asking for that approval tonight. What we want to do is, we know we have the funds to do it. That's why we put money away. We encumber it for that purpose. But also, there's some meetings going on that we're trying to find additional funds through state or federal meetings, and continue to try to do that. But at least we know we can do it.
Yes.
What we want to do now is, we know we have the funds. We want to be able to tell the engineers to proceed with getting bids. So I would also like to share, if you're not aware, it's important. We learned from some challenges in phase 1 in miscommunication. We all were calling it the new water system, and it ended up not being the entire water system. And we've learned from some processes that created that, and we're trying to apply and do better this time. So we learned from our mistakes, and we're trying to do better. So there's been a really big series, lots of meetings, and we're talking to the engineers. We've met them here face to face. We've also gotten Ricky involved, who has been the lead on repairs. He knows where all the lines are, to look at some of this and does this sound right? And he did pick up on Peach Grove. He has a few concerns that may reduce that price. Certainly not going to increase it, because he thinks we should do a few things differently. So all of that's working out really well. So, but tonight, we just need a motion to have the engineer, should we stay on schedule, to go ahead and do the bids. Just requires a motion.
A motion that we move to allow the engineer to request bids for the new water system phase 2 of
Second them.
Question? Yeah, a second. Any questions on the motion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all very much. Brandon, thanks for taking the time to outline all this to make it really simple. So, all right, next on the agenda is Christmas lights. Want me to take that? Thank you for giving me permission to do that.
Please do.
Anyway, you know, the fire department and that core group of the fire department for years and years have been very instrumental in the Christmas lights going up and going down. We couldn't do it without them. Over the years, this community has saved thousands of dollars by having them do that, and they enjoy doing it. They come out and they do it every year. And with that there's a core little group of Stan Chopey, Dottie Lewis, and Ricky Landon, who are so appreciative and proud of this community that they're always trying to do things to make that process of the Christmas lights go really easy. And as you know, about 8 years ago, we put a bid out, we got pricing for all the lights that go across the town, across the road. And they came up with this idea about doing a fundraiser that people could pay for them, and at not come out of the general budget, our planned budget. And they came up with that idea, and it was hugely successful. There's a plaque out front that tells who made the donations, and in fact, we ran out of places to put lights because more people were even interested in it. So that's worked out really well. The dilemma that we found ourselves is that 2 strands have actually gone bad. And those 3 feel like that it's a manufacturer concern, but we're in the middle of talking to the manufacturer here in North Carolina and trying to make a concession on helping with some with the price. So what they have done is they've discounted everything. If you look at that worksheet, it's pretty significant discount. We're hoping to get something out of the strands that have gone bad. And now that core group, Ricky and Stan and Donnie, they've come up with a plan, and they have talked to citizens throughout the community. In addition to the lights that go across Route 3, they would like to add a Christmas light, high caliber, good quality, to each side street. The streets are listed on the bottom of that worksheet. And that's what they'd like to start with. And Ricky has taken the lead in talking to people, and I'm not prepared to tell you who's going to pay for it yet, but we do know there's commitments to pay for each light. So what we have to do is, in order to continue with this discount and keep it, there's an expiration time limit, which most businesses do that. We need to use our funds to pay for those lights, knowing that the additional lights will be paid for by donations from the citizens. It takes a lot of planning, and Ricky's taken the lead on that. We started talking to Virginia Power about where best to put an outlet. So all they have to do is put the bracket on the pole every year, put the ornament, and then plug it in. And then if he's talked to them already, it'll be a flat rate. It won't be a kilowatt per hour rate. So Ricky's working all that out. And then, of course, they will take that at no cost of putting them up every year and take them down. They'll handle that with the lights that go across town. So we just need to move on that amount, and that we're planning to replace it as soon as the funds come through, if the council so desires.
Where would those funds will come from, general or?
From the general fund.
They could come out of the general fund, they could come out of the park fund. I mean, if they're gonna be put back in, we could do it. The park certainly has the money to spare right now.
As soon as we have a little bit more information on what they think will work best where, we'll share that, we'll keep you informed on it. But they're pretty excited about it. And they had me talk to the manufacturer too, and I did talk to them, and I was curious as to how many towns still have lights that go across the highway. And to their knowledge, we're probably one of the only towns that are still doing that, which they really enjoy seeing that. So we also talked about some other future projects, so that hopefully we're getting the best price that we can. The Christmas Spirit Group has some ideas about making a few changes, potentially maybe about the Christmas tree, and maybe using an artificial tree like our neighbors in Tappahannock did. And so there's some other projects that are going on that we're going to look at ways to fund it and not come out of the general fund. What's the council's pleasure?
You're looking for a motion? Do we need a motion for this?
We need a motion.
Okay. I move that we approve to fund the donations for the new Christmas lights.
Well, second the motion.
So is that your second amendment to the motion?
Yeah, but for clarity, just add to part of, with the understanding that, the funds will be replenished with donations, et cetera.
So we have a motion and a second. I'll ask if there's any further discussions on the motion. Hearing none, roll call vote. Mrs. Whitman? Mrs. Messenger,
Aye.
Mr. Watson,
Aye.
Mr. Lee,
Aye.
Mr. Smith,
Aye.
Mr. Garrett.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
And I might suggest, as we're putting the budget together for next year, is maybe creating a line item for Christmas donations and Christmas expenses, so we don't, if we're gonna get donations, maybe ongoing, I've had people who wanted to give, but we didn't really have something to
Yeah.
pay for, so.
And then another thing that the vice mayor has reminded us of, based on the trash situation that we've corrected, is, do we want a line item for that, just to have some movement, just in case something happens, so that's something that we can talk about and maybe propose. Would that be correct? Okay, that ends any action item. I'll ask if anyone else had any action items. Hearing none. Public comments. Are there any comments from the public? Yes, sir.
Hey, Bob Ryan, District 3 Montross. We've had very, have a few things. I'm just left you one I forgot, and number two I was busy, so it's like all of the above, right? Told you, I guess last year, the whole year, for Chamber of Commerce, create one, some businesses, here in City Young, I think some businesses, we had Just Egg closed up, as you know, they got the pickles, candy shop closed up, we did some food, and of course, the Montross Brewery closed. And people all the time are arrested, nothing Montross, same like Angelo's, that business, and you know what they do, which have a nice place. And I don't know if we have a stand place, people bought it, but still up and down, nothing happened with that, so y'all can get a create a Chamber of Commerce and this business, and I talked to the guy at the end, in fact, and I hope that lasts, that's been like, well, people, business has been over the years, they don't stay there very long, as you know. I think Wayne Hicks was the first in back in the beginning of back in the 80s. So, yeah, I appreciate it. Also, that I see the sidewalks have been cleared. Can you get some help from the county? They're like the whole crew of people, they got 5 or 6 people working. I'm sure they'd be glad to give you a hand if the sidewalks clear up there, you know? I think they caught up, and when I looked around, been around them to school walking today, 2 miles down at 18. It's all clear, all the county buildings, so maybe they can help you with that as well.
Yeah. Awesome.
Still not a contract in the body, no, all that sort of pricing there.
Yeah.
Again, plans for the 250th anniversary coming up, 4th of July, Westmoreland County, the best county in the northern neck. And this is county seat, we need something really huge and give Westmoreland, George Watson, James Rowe proud.
Yep, absolutely. So yes, there's some plan for some banners, so we're definitely looking at that, looking at where the funds are going to come from. But we do have the ability to do that, and we're going to do something. So,
I think up to Shepherd Hall, I think they're going to do something for us.
Mhm.
Probably George Watson birthplace as well.
yeah.
Phone and half big, we think something really outrageous here in West, in Montross. So people really know, hey, this is a line here, we're not dead yet.
Get your checkbook out, Larry.
What's that?
Get your checkbook out.
All right. I do what I can, you know.
You need to stop by the museum and talk to our 2 girls there. They've got a lot going on.
Okay. All right, make a notation of that. And I'm just, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Some of his comments kind of trigger a few things, so I think we definitely have to think about, in this community, growth. And, the growth that I'm speaking about is residential growth. We may have some opportunities with that going on with the development at Route 3 East End project. So we may have to think out of the box, but as you know, as we did the revitalization, and we did a lot of things to the streets and roads, added signs, crosswalks, murals, all those things take funds to maintain. We're at the point now that the love sign has got to come down to be redone, and this time we're going to do it out of material that will last much longer. So all those things have expenses tied to it. So, definitely things to think about. All right, any other public comments? All right, no further business, the meeting's adjourned.